The problem with a lot of games is they don't understand pacing. Now, not every genre relies on pacing, so this is a pretty broad yet narrow subject. Like, racing games don't really rely on pacing unless there's a terrible Fast and Furious style story alongside the racing.
Can he drive? You know what DK stands for? Donkey Kong.
You need to shut the fuck up!
You just kind of get in there and races naturally get more difficult, or rather complicated, as you go. Like, either enemy races are made faster or more competent, or maps are made backwards with tighter turns and less stretches, etc. But you expect and understand almost immediately how and why a racing game plays, no matter which one it is, putting it in the pick up and play category.
Luigi! Coming for you, nigga.
Games like Grand Theft Auto, Horizon Zero Dawn, Halo, Final Fantasy, Apotheon, Transistor, Wizard of Legend, fuck, even Candy Crush to some degree. They understand to deliver on pacing and how important it is. And not only with story, that's not what I mean. I mean with gameplay and gameplay mechanics. Now I know some of you are probably like, what? I'm gonna break it down for you. One of my favorite games ever in the history of time, Bully. Pacing is extremely well done with a duality of longevity and brevity, and that's the title of this video. So let's go ahead and let's get that up on the screen with like some music or something. Anyway, the inclusion of these two factors in the game is so important. I'll throw up the definitions for people who don't know, or small children who are watching and don't have, like, you know, blockage on their YouTube, which they should, because I cuss a lot. When you turn on this game, the initial cutscene sets the tone, gives you the setting, as much motivation as you need to start out, and a subtle understanding. Then it just sets you loose to be a dick in short increments and introduces you to so many functioning parts of its world that make so much sense. You're at a boarding school that has actual courses you take via mini games and rewards you with usable perks in game for passing said courses, giving you motivation to actually fucking go to class. The prefects will detain you for being tardy or insubordinate. The jocks bully you, and everyone else in rival factions you've mistreated will be ready and willing to return the favor if they see you. Everything the game sets itself up to be is intensified and verified believably through real-time, real-world interaction, and it gives you the brevity of a quick introduction to these functions, but each small piece of the game remains fresh for the full duration of the experience. You get a slingshot, stink bombs, marbles, you can throw goddamn banana peels and watch somebody slip like it's a fucking cartoon. There are so many ways to interpret and play this game that some people prefer the variety and timing of Bully to Rockstar's bigger titles like GTA or Red Dead Redemption. Arcade machines with real working games, odd jobs to earn cash, detention with tasks that have a minimum percentage completion requirement before you're excused, a skateboard, a bike, boxing matches, a fucking carnival, a vet hobo who can teach you moves to further your ass kicking abilities, seasonal changes, holidays, and so much more. All of these things get brief introductions at intervals in the game that stay the course whether you choose to ignore them or partake in them. They are undeniably part of what make the game a unique and noteworthy cohesive experience.
He realizes.
I can't believe you, you little monster. We'll deal with you when we get back from our honeymoon next year.
Which brings me to this shitball Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm sorry, that was excessive. It's not a shitball, it's a regular ball that doesn't bounce anymore because the last bounce landed it in some shit. Meaning it had the potential to be so much more, but nothing in the game holds up. Every functioning part besides the story exists in the realm of brevity, and a lot of what it introduces has been done so many times and so much more creatively that the fun wears off before too long anyway. So let's get into it. You got a lot of weapons, right? Heavy, range, staffs and spears, swords, etc. Each one definitely has a different feel and weight to it. They swing differently and handle differently, but after you see how all of them handle, you kind of just know which one you like, and every other weapon class and type just become drachmae for your wallet. There are no real advantages of a specific class over another unless you're fighting a fast enemy, in which case you don't want a heavy weapon because you move slower than half frozen caramel down the side of a McDonald's caramel frappe. This means they created this entire branching ridiculous loot crazy weapon stash for you to pick one you like and stick with it forever. There's no opportunity cost. So either you'll level it up with you until you find one that's better with like different perks, maybe more fire damage or something, or you'll just equip the highest level one after you kill everybody. That's it. There's nothing more to find. Then the actual combat itself is the same formula over and over, no matter the medium. You know, you got on foot, on horseback, ship, you know, ranged or melee. And it mostly goes like this. You go for stealth. Eventually, if somebody sees you, you fight. You win or you lose. Repeat. That formula is the same with bounty hunters who track you, bosses you fight, captains, lackeys, Spartans, Athenians, pirates, cultists, every fucking body. There's no mix-up or variation besides when they copied Shadow of War and gave the bounty hunters weaknesses and strengths that equate to nearly no difference besides they have more or less health or an animal sidekick. Every stealth mission, every area takeover, every bandit encounter, every nation battle, every fight in the game is exactly the fucking same. Even combat with animals. The only difference is the aesthetic. Speaking of which, the greatest thing about this game is the aesthetic. The views are gorgeous, the story is worthwhile, and some of the side quests are interesting enough. But everything that counts in between the buns of the sandwich is just a ripoff of other games done so boringly safe and repetitiously that after the first 6 hours of playing, you're kind of like, I'm just gonna go play bully. And then they want you to actually take a fucking ship ride to a place slowly as fuck, whether you like it or not. You know how quickly that shit gets old? Nearly every mechanic introduced to you in this game ends up having no lasting significance or impact on gameplay or the overall experience. Sure, it's cool that you can go pirate people's ships, but after the first 4, I'm bored. How can you make this experience better for me? Maybe if there was PvP ship battles so I can rape the fuck out of my friends after work, or maybe if I could set a course and depending upon the length of the journey while the game loads, we do pirate mini games or some shit. Maybe jig or fence on the deck with my mates and increase their battle skills in doing so. Maybe that knife game where you try not to hit fingers, or a drinking game, or even both. I just feel like you should have gave me the option to further customize and interact with my crew and ship. Why can my men go below deck but I can't? Maybe my lieutenant can sail us to our next destination while I fuck around below deck drinking rum like a real captain. But making me sail 2 to 10 real-time minutes to continue my on-foot journey if I've not yet activated the fast travel option is absolutely ridiculous, and you're a fuck for doing it, Ubisoft. Mafia 3 doesn't have fast travel either, so fuck you guys too. Then you can go into tombs to look for stuff, and by stuff I mean one specific item identical in every tomb. I'm not even going to insult you on that. I'm just going to put this on the screen. Almost everything introduced to you in this game is immediately fun and falls flat within hours. Nothing stands the test of time in gameplay. Nothing says, let me come back and do this differently. In fact, I'll write a list of the games that it imitates along the way, and you can go play them because they're actually fucking fun. But what's crazy is, don't get me wrong, I actually do like this game. I really do. It's not what it could have been. Just like Vampire. I love that. If you watch my review for that, I love the game. I really did. But it wasn't what it should have been. It was lacking in so much. And a lot of games do that, but don't.
Mystios, can you help our little group? Hear this way too often in the game, you what I do. The NPCs need help, you the one they looking to. It's a formula, we know too well, but shit is cool. Hit a camp up, assault the troop. Collect some items and bring them to 'em. Try the true things, but nothing new. I ain't hating, I'm just saying what it do, so what it do. Control the map, it works, I like the way they laid it out. Bounty system cool, but in the long run doesn't count. Having freedom in an open world, that's what it's about. Someone died.
Kill and defeat, take over the streets. For an army repeat, and some bandits to beat.
Someone died.
Get on the shit, find others to hit. See you later, you got back to it, don't stop.